Good evening and welcome to The Nest. I'm your host, Y254, and I'm so honored to be the one hosting this show at this particular time. This show and this episode is quite different from the regular one. I interview people, I hear their stories, but I have a little story of my own as we mark the end of Mental Health Awareness Month, which ended yesterday, and I thought, why not share my story? I have struggled with mental health. I have struggled with postpartum depression and clinical depression and also anxiety. As a matter of fact, most recently, I've still been on medication to treat depression and anxiety. And I have no shame because, like the month's mantra was, tools to thrive. How do you thrive in mental health? Let me start by saying that no one is immune to mental health. The problem is the people who can't accept that there's mental health. Mental health cuts across the board. It could be depression, it could be anxiety, it could be schizophrenia, it could be bipolar, anything. Let's not put people in a box because I think all of us need a little bit of therapy. In the times we live in, stress is a commodity that takes us to the next level. And hey, you know what comes with stress? Depression, some sort of mental illness. And gone are the days where we said a madman is the person who is affected by mental health. You should be in Mathare. Question is, do you feel like the government is doing enough to bring awareness to mental health? Have you noted how much mental health has been on the rise, especially during this corona pandemic? Who is mostly affected? According to me, I've been making my own observations and I saw that men are mostly affected because they do not have a channel to say that they are suffering. Let's come back to me. The first thing I did was to accept that something was wrong. I saw the necessary practitioner and I embraced a program. And here I am as a testimony to say that, been there, done that, and I learned along the way. As we address what other people go through, I can't wait for one day to tell my story at length. However, today I'm going to leave it to our expert of the day who is going to tell us more about mental health, who is going to debunk and demystify all these things that surround it. One who will be able to answer even future questions that you might have. So I encourage you to reach out to us on Y254 or across all our social media pages and also on my own personal page, MaureenY2 on Instagram and MaureenY2 also on Facebook. Please do so, but before we take this short break, I'll say that take care of the people around you. Do not push them away when you see their behavior changing. Talk to them. Maybe they just need a bit of love. And hey, mental illnesses and mental health is actually a treatable disorder, or manageable in that case. So we'll be right back after this short break.
Mental Health Awareness Month has been observed in May in the world since its inception in 1949. During the month of May, the government, its affiliates, and other organizations interested in mental health conduct a number of activities, which are usually based on different themes.
There is no health without mental health. That's why WHO has established a special initiative for mental health to accelerate access to quality mental health care, which respects people's human rights and reaches those most in need of services and support.
Sustainable Development 3 is for us to advocate and partner with different health practitioners and medics to come together and talk about mental health, teach the different people, the different places from the cities to the grassroots about what mental health is and how, in a medical term, they are able to tackle it. Sustainable Development 4, quality education. Once we bring together the doctors and the different medical practitioners, we are able to now come up with different workshops to instill and train these different people about mental health, about how they can sustain even when we're not around.
In Kenya, it is estimated that 1 in every 10 people suffer from a common mental disorder. The number increases to 1 in every 4 people among patients attending routine outpatient services. This is believed to be because a lot of youth suffer in silence.
Everyone talks about mental health in a different sense. Everyone has a different definition of what mental health is. Young people are really suffering in silence, and that's because our communities don't know better, our societies don't know better, our elders don't know better.
At the height of the pandemic last year, the president ordered the formation of the task force with a primary mandate to study the status of mental health in the country.
The other issue that I think has come out very strongly in this conference is the need for us to once again refocus on mental health care. We have seen that this is becoming an increasing problem, as I have mentioned in the past, an increasing problem in our country, amongst our people, especially our young people. There is really a need for us to refocus our efforts and redouble the work that we're doing to help and to work with the mental health of our people. And towards this end, I really want to say that it is not just the relatives or the health workers, but it is the population at large. I mean, there has been a huge impact as a result of the lockdown that we have had on our young people who have felt restrained and constrained from the liberties that they know. And this has seriously affected the health and well-being of our young people. So I think that there is need for this, and there is need for a focus on this. And towards that end, without even waiting for the national conference, I do hereby direct the Ministry of Health to begin working on an active plan that they can present to us when we have our national conference on how we are going to deal with the issue of the mental health and mental well-being of our people.
In its findings, the task force led by Dr. Frank Njenga found out that depression and anxiety disorders are the leading mental illnesses as diagnosed in Kenya, followed by substance use disorders, with alcohol being a major contributing factor.
Among the different types of substances, alcohol contributes to the largest burden of substance abuse-related illnesses in Kenya. Of great concern, alcohol abuse is most prevalent in the 18 to 29 age group.
This year, mental health awareness theme is Tools to Thrive, aiming at providing practical tools that everyone can use to improve their mental health and increasing their resiliency regardless of their personal or societal pressure.
People are so afraid and shy of indicating that they are human beings who suffer from, say, depression or schizophrenia or PTSD, that they would rather stay with their illnesses at home rather than expose themselves to the shame of confirming that they are humans and suffer from mental illness.
So what is mental health?
Mental illness can come in many forms. No wonder this is a topic many find hard to talk about. The American Psychiatric Association defines mental illness as a health condition involving changes in thinking, emotion, or behavior. These conditions may affect someone's ability to relate to others and function each day.
This prompted us to find out from the public what they consider as being mentally healthy for oneself, mother, father, or friend.
To be mentally healthy, just being able to be normal and to accept whatever comes in life.
Good mental health is when you can feel free to speak out whenever you are in a problem or whenever you feel there is something not going the way you planned or the way you expect things to go.
Experts argue the absence of mental illness does not mean someone is mentally healthy. This prompts for more care when dealing with this matter.
No less an authority than the World Health Organization has said that there is no health without mental health. So from the very highest levels of healthcare, there is a recognition that you cannot truly be a healthy person without attention to mental health as well. And while we're all familiar with mental illness, the absence of mental illness does not necessarily mean that someone is mentally healthy. What are some of the components that go into being mentally healthy? Being able to understand yourself and what your needs are, what your emotions are, and so on. Being able to communicate your needs to others, hear what they have to say in an empathic way, and to be able to resolve differences there. It's important also to know how to cope with challenges in life and also how to be resilient, a skill that we can learn. And so it's very important for us to all work together to incorporate mental health as part of our overall health profile.
Kenya has a high burden of mental illness due to ill health, psychological disability, and premature mortality, with huge gaps in access to care. Majority of Kenyans associate mental health and mental illness with negative narratives, leading to low focus on the importance and benefits of mental health and well-being. How can this be addressed?
Is in part driven by the low resources that we associate or give to the treatment or to the management of mental disorders. And one of their recommendations, of which we have many, is that really if we are going to give mental health the dignity that it deserves, we really need to finance mental health services in a way that is commensurate with the burden that is there.
The government is committed to build an ultra-modern facility to tackle mental health. This is also expected to be replicated across counties, for the first time bringing a ray of hope in this matter.
To institutionalize this initiative, I have issued an executive order establishing an ultra-modern national mental health hospital and also elevated Mathare National Teaching Referral Hospital as a semi-autonomous specialized hospital, and I shall be looking to this House to support in the funding of this facility. The East Africa's premier mental health facility will be established to offer training, research in psychiatry, specialized psychiatric services, forensic psychiatric services, child and adolescent mental services, and substance abuse related and addictive disorders treatment and rehabilitation.
Recognizing stress and mental health problems is not easy. Most people hide and suffer in silence. It's important for people from all walks of life to be vigilant and lend a hand any way they can.
What needs to be done more is, as young people, we need to really speak out more about mental health. We really need to come out and say, yes, I am going through something and I am not mentally stable, and it's very much okay.